not too much.
Yeah, right. I think that's.
But do you think that education of manufacturing, what was beyond just that student itself? I mean, really, don't you think they go home and talk at the dinner table?
And the teachers, it's really good for the teachers. We just had a panel with 6 manufacturers at USF or from Roy Shop, but it wasn't even Roy or Shannon. And with a group of teachers that go to there's a Center for Financial Literacy at USF, the Tablet Center. They do kick-off outreach, and we had 35 teachers there just hungry to talk to anybody who was in the real world. You know, they stayed for 2 hours just fielding questions from the teachers that just wanted to know what they did. But the theme was, how important is it to is innovation and creativity in the workplace, in your company? And it was all manufacturers, so they asked me to help find some people. But these were sociology teachers, they were humanities teachers, and the comments back are, wow, this was like the best thing I've been through in years. You know, we don't have the opportunity to talk to people in the community that are working, and there's so much we can take back to our students just from talking to them. Economics, humanities, history, and that's the crowd they draw from that. So, yeah, I mean, it was incredible. They were so excited.
I'm kind of getting out, but if I could just take a moment to kind of divert for one second. Out in Plant City, many of you may be aware that Mosaic is closing down the plant. December 11th, they're having their career fair, what they're calling career fair. If any of you know many employers, unless they have to be manufacturers, of course, be great if they are manufacturers. There's going to be 200 or 300 employees that are going to do a job. And they've got production supervisors, operators, electronic technicians, maintenance mechanics. If you know of any employers that would be interested in attending, they'll be invited. I can send you.
Yeah. That's me, because I'm doing newsletter. I hope to get newsletter done tomorrow.
So they're looking for manufacturers looking to hire for the employees that are not going to be working anymore. Gotcha.
I'm gonna wrap this up, and we're obviously not gonna get everything done, but we'll get some other things.
I just want to make one point though, because my wife's an English teacher, and we actually talk quite a lot about what she experienced in her school and what I experienced in the industry. First of all, let me throw out a crate that they were about manufacturing teachers, right? So my wife's an English teacher. She's not involved in science. She did however well she did study limit course in science she did in college. But what she came to the realization at one point when we was having a conversation about this is that she plays a role in making students capable to work in manufacturing. So he feels intimidated. It's not all about being in science and technology classes. There's a lot more than that. And I think as you mentioned, psychology teachers.
And that's what came out last week or the week before when we had these teachers with the manufacturers, is that they wanted to know what they could do to prepare their students for work. It didn't matter that they were economics teachers and history teachers. They felt like your wife did, they had a role to play in their.
It's all about manufacturing that for teachers specifically.
Yeah, I wrote that down, and that kind of ties into the summer program they have.
The guidance.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to probably do it in the summer.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want them to give you.
I'm just going to make one more point on what you said, the differences of training kids for careers, further education, or what we do. The answer is in the school committee, the answer is in the school system. They basically are driven by one goal by their funding. That's what a couple. That is to keep that kid in school, get him through school, get him a diploma, and get him to advanced education. Okay? That's the way the funding works. About 10 years ago, there was an act called the K-PAC, the Career
Professional education.
And this said, hey, we come to the realization that there's things out here in the industry that certifications, and we better start doing those kinds of things, okay? So then there's a reward set up to teaching certifications, all right? But if you take a look at what the school system has done with it, it's Adobe, it's Word, it's everything else. There's very little technical stuff. When I was told that a year and a half ago now, I went and pulled the tape list for every count. Very little technical on there. So one thing that I was doing and got recommended not good is basically if there's, for instance, the school will get $450 or $500 for getting a cert, okay? If they get a Microsoft cert, they've only got to pay $50 to get that cert. So they walk away with $450, all right? But they have to do more technical stuff, they got a couple problems. First of all, they involve the purchase of equipment to do that. And second of all, they may not have the qualified person to do it. They have plenty of people to do the other thing, all right? So, but there's not an incentive to do that. And what about an incentive that says, a legislative incentive that says, let's give the school X amount of money, if they're giving them however much they are to prove that they do somebody's advanced education. Let's give them a certain amount of money for moving a kid into a career in that county that says, not just a job, but something that's a demand occupation in that county at or above a certain minimum wage. So why don't we give a reward system for them to do that? Because not all these kids, which we know, these kids in the engineering academy, bright kids, motivated kids, everything else, what we know is not 100% of them are going to go to college or either. It's not going to happen. Okay? But now you got bright kids. Let's motivate the school system to take a look at it. And Roy knows with Paul Wanish, he has the best program in the area. I think Milton is probably the best now. But when Paul had that, he had the best program in the area. And I got one of my manufacturers on that board. He has two kids that went through the program. One's in Georgia Tech, and I forget the other one, Purdue, I think. But both of those are in engineering. They did great. So he loves Paul. But he and I went up there and said, you know, not all your kids are going to go to college. Paul says, I know. He says, I know which ones are. Okay?
No one's like a set of
Exactly.
So we got 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah. And Paul was sending to him. And Paul knew which ones it were. So he had to go around the system to do that. Let's reward the system for identifying. I don't know.
That sounds like a Tallahassee.
But from the next thing, let's go back to you. Okay, let's see.
Well, when you say that about legislating, I just got a call yesterday. I'm on the board, Makes board now. And the next board meeting, I guess, is in January. It's going to be in Tallahassee. And it includes a day of meeting with legislators. So, if there's something that we could, that I can help work with the board Makes, being a board member, to help with, I can coordinating that, but as well, talking to the legislators.
I wrote that up a couple of years ago for Pinellas County trip. Let me see if I can find it. I wrote a specific proposal to do that.
So Kelly Castro from Aspen and I also want to what if she had any thoughts about what's the next for their school system, and she said something similar to what Lauren said in terms of using manufacturing day as a springboard to facilitate internships for students and also support PhD classes that in and from the business community.
We're all for programs, PTE programs.
Okay, let's go through this real quick and then try to summarize the rest of the slides. I'll probably do something different. So,
You want me to take? I might have taken over. Yeah.
Not uncommon.
okay, there you go. Clay, what can we expect out of Clay in the future?
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Okay, so that's kind of unknown, but one thing we need to do is we need, regardless of what that is in the future, what we need to do is we need to capture.
I think that you guys having done most of all the work locally, the series now have a feel for what the project takes. We know we need to start earlier. We probably need to identify the schools in the spring before they leave and make sure they're in.
The
The money that
Yeah, right. So I think April is a good.
Janice is giving us a good thing on that.
And I think that the only piece that we still hold hostage probably is the survey. We're probably the only ones who have ever done anything with the surveys except report out and produce the data. And I mean, luckily we have 2 or 3 or 4 students that input all that data, and they're doing it right now for Castle County. That's out in the survey. And then, you know, we just do some Excel stuff and isolate them and separate them and do those little reports. So that piece is the piece that Florida makes, at least at this moment in time, still wants for however they can massage that into impact for them and for the state and the different areas. So there is plans to, tentative as they are at this moment, to work with them to transfer that knowledge to the state level, which would mean that somebody still is going to have to input data. You know, that's the biggest piece for that is inputting data. We tried. We put it on SurveyMonkey this year. We had an electronic form and the paper form. We got 0 students doing it online. 0 to tell you. So we still got paper copies. So a lot of that input stuff could be totally eliminated if we could use electronic, and then we just have the analysis piece to do with the data when it came out. But we didn't have anyone use it. The online survey, we tried to.
The option of it?
We did. We gave everyone the option to do either.
Probably, I don't know what.
Maybe there's an issue doing it on site.
So I don't know what apps that they use.
Oh, no, yeah, you could do it on
the
your phone.
online survey on,
The survey.
survey about how did the kids get.
Oh,
Did they do it
so
outside?
I asked teachers, I did some informal polling in different counties even. I said, well, if you had the survey online, how could you administer it? Could you take the students back to school, put them in a computer lab, and have them do it? And PTE teachers pretty unanimously said yes. So I asked Elizabeth, for example. I asked a few other teachers here, some in Jacksonville, some in Northwest Florida, and all the PTE teachers pretty much said we could do that. The problem is sometimes they went right home, you know, and so the tour's over and the day's over. It's the weekend, it's manufacturing days on Friday, so if you don't capture it that day, I think.
Looking if you can do it with a QR code or something.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Well,
that's-
the manufacturer's site, and when they're doing their lunch or at the end of
But
the day.
getting Wi-Fi access at the manufacturing site, I didn't know. They have to figure that out. I don't know how that would happen.
I think for the teachers, that could be an option, because, you know, after the thing is, the door is open and the teacher could.
We could have all of the school buses have Wi-Fi.
I'll let them know.
So they could do it on the bus.
Okay.
Does it ever get to that point?
Yeah, and that's not.
Okay.
Your data, but.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try to summarize this a little bit. In terms of Clayton, Florida makes big unknowns, but in terms of all the stuff we talked about today, one thing that I know we need to do is capture that knowledge that you have, okay, in a more usable form. We got to do that. You got to capture the usable form. I don't know exactly all of it is. You don't. None of us do. So now maybe I'm going to shoot Dan now and try to figure out, you know, how we do that, because we don't want to lose that. Second thing is, the main thing that you see, the way it worked this year with the decentralization is the big centralized role you have is survey data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think a little bit more of the cheerleading to get different regions to do it, because we have, you know, different places. But talking about Tampa Bay, I think that was.
And that's the purpose of this, is to get all of your cheerleading.
Yeah.
Okay. And the third aspect of that is if this gets done well and we get cheerleaders, then maybe we help this go better too.
Yeah.
Career source, RMAs, I think, Becky, I think I could probably summarize, our way is coordinated between the manufacturers and the schools. And t-shirts, I guess, that goes in our table. I would say, what else goes in our table?
Not lunch, I don't know if that's too many weeks for now, but some do it, some don't, and that makes it, like, we have to know if they're not gonna do it, then we've got to get them back to the floor line.
Yeah.
And then that's an issue with school buses, because you've only got it for a short amount of time. And it's even shorter probably next year, because our bell schedule.
I'd give you feedback on that, that I found it kind of humorous that when I was looking at what the agenda was, that one of the first things I got asked was about lunch. No, in organising it ahead of time. And I see that there's a logistics issue there for you, but from the manufacturer's point of view, it's like, why are you asking for free lunch at the very beginning? It's like, I'm asking about the content of the actual day, isn't that more important? So I'd say that just jumping in there, that if there's a responsibility there, that there needs to be some coordination on lunch plus other information,
Right.
then maybe that needs to be managed in a way that it isn't like, oh, you guys doing lunch? No.
It's
Well,
got to
that's
be
what
coordinated.
I tried to get, people to, the manufacturers to register, like, on our website, because then, at least if they enter the information, I could pull it up in an Excel spreadsheet and it's already there. So like I've got, and so that was one of the questions that I added, are you going to provide lunch?
So
at least we can know ahead of time.
Kind of historically, the lunch idea was, as an opportunity to do the survey as well. So the theoretical, the ideal situation that we came up with, and I don't know, I've been on a few of the tours over the years, and it seems to work. They would sit down, have their pizza, and do their surveys, and then the manufacturers would send them back, or the teachers would send them back that theory from place to place. And then we got them also, and we got them captured. And so that opportunity was twofold, we thought. One, we could get the surveys, and two, that maybe there was an opportunity for the students to have some afterthoughts with some of the employers and employees there to ask some questions or, continue the conversation for the 20th.
I think it's valuable. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that the message I got is more important.
That's part.
Well, yeah, it's also because the kids have to.
That's part of us getting all the information out to you. And I know, like I said, I know I feel with some of it.
But I'd say though, just trying to turn into constructive comments that you say, well, okay, so I don't have it in the week. I think that's one example of things that need to get communicated. But there's a communication process there where I think your role will be the liaison between the school and the manufacturer. Right. And again, registering, I registered, and what I said was, it didn't feel like it was really paid attention to, because then in phone calls and emails later, I was like reiterating what I'd already put in the system. So that automated system didn't work. But that's where a person liaising, actually managing the situation, I think is more productive.
I think we had several people doing it, and although maybe I had the information that I shared with some people, but if Jerry called me, he didn't have my information, and that's why,
Well, that's more of a system.
A lot of people were in tax this year.
Okay, no worries. We'll just fix it.
Yeah.
No problem.
I think when you have that initial webinar though, or that, whatever that contact is, it's going to say, this is what we're doing, this is our goal, this is how we're going to, you know what I mean? That first, then you find out who's in, then you go into the logistics of what are the times of your tour, how many students do you want, that's a big deal. Because some of my schools will break 50 if I let them, but some tours can't take 50.
Yeah.
But then you get into the lunch and that stuff. So you start it with a big umbrella first and then get down.
So we've tried to, in the past, engage some of these other organizations, even banks, maybe associate members of the RMA, to support the effort by buying the lunch. Some manufacturers, it was a money issue for the lunch, because we can't do lunch because we can't do lunch. Some, it was a space issue.
Yeah.
So there were many different reasons why they couldn't do lunch, and we did fill some of those gaps occasionally with other support as an idea with somebody else bought the pizza, just had it sent to the manufacturer and stuff. It's just one more layer of organizing, but it was an option. But it's an option if you're scheduled far enough out. It could be something that that you can include, and a lot of times people want to participate, but they don't think they have a role. And you can give them this kind of opportunities to support, be a supporter.
Okay. I got time, sir. I'm gonna try to do as much time as I can here. This, I think we've probably beat that pretty well. We know we got a lot of communication problem. We can't, I'll try to capture what I can, and we can go from there. I think from what we said so far, we got some priorities, and we have a nice set of timelines, and we'll pull together to do that. One thing I would say, I was really impressed once again, with the way, Kelly did it up in the Vancouver, I like the virtual aspect. She did a great job. I think we need career source. I'll just throw that up. I think we need career source analysis as well. I don't know that degree, but basically she performed as an RMA.
Yeah.
But I think it would be good to have career source in this department. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Well, some of what Kelly has said, and we just put it in the meeting notes.
Okay.
Telling me a lot of things.
Yeah, she's got to get it. Go to the next one real quick.
Next slide.
Next one.
Yeah.
Marketing, I think we've talked a lot about that, and certainly the common message. I think we got a common message and probably a common goal. We can take a look at what collateral we have on stuff on the websites and things of that nature to do that. I think we can get much more out of the websites than we can. And all this, if we decide, where you got that tribal knowledge, that we'll transfer some of that to Banda's website, AmSkill's website, HMA website. We'll get that out there in various places that we can. Didn't talk too much about social media, but we can do that later. I know that Flint Toolkit, once again, that may, I don't know what percentage of tribal knowledge that contains, but that's a damn good answer.
We tried to help make a common message by making our own Florida logo out of the Manufacturing Day logo and having an isolated web page and an isolated URL that we paid extra for, obviously. Just manufacturingday-florida.com that we posted in. And of course, because we're in Tampa Bay, most of what we have on there is in Tampa Bay. But we tried to make it, a place for the whole state. And no matter how much we put it out there, we still didn't get a lot of buy-in. So we need to maybe work on that, and then we don't have to do a lot of redundancy. We can just link to one location.
Yeah.
And from various other websites. We made an icon with code years ago to one of the second year, so people could do that and send it around, and nobody really embedded it. So but a lot of that is actually still on that wiki. All the things, posters for kids, and lots and lots of resources there that we tried to do to get the message out more. And we were dedicated here, but we also had a big mission at the time. So
social media on there. I don't know what the results or effects were, but this wanted the MVPs to do some Facebook stuff. So, this sort of makes sense. Somebody over from Orlando, Janice came out, and we did 7 Facebook Lives on that.
Yeah. We said, we don't know what Facebook Live is, but I think we should do it. How about it?
You learn
something.
Did you see, did it attract any reaction to that, Lord?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I didn't hear anything back from this per se.
Or from Valerie, I don't know the secret.
Yeah, I don't think we heard anything yet.
I'm going to ask her.
I think it got a lot of viewership on the day of.
Yeah.
Can we have the next one down? Let's see what we got there. Timelines, okay, we'll skip over that, we've got a nice thing to work with on that. Surveys, I think we got an awful lot of things on this, so we got a lot of information on that. But what we haven't gotten out yet, I don't think, is that consolidated report. Is there going to be a consolidated report? What's it do? Can it help us in driving this whole thing in terms of?
There will be this year, there'll be a consolidated report, but remember, people are still doing tours, actually there's tours at Corbinger, down in Palm Beach County, or, wherever they are, next week, all displaced from the hurricane. And we just got the Pasco Hernando one a week ago or so. So it takes us till the first of the year easily to get through this.
But you do a consolidated report.
Yes.
One thing I'd say, if you just go back a slide, go to the bullets on, maybe if I have another one.
That was going forward.
Surveys. So, yeah, no, surveys is good. Yeah. So, I mean, in manufacturing, when you measure something, the only reason you measure something is to make it better, right? So, I guess what I'm not saying there is what does success look like? If you do a survey, that survey should be designed in a way that you can measure whether you're successful and what you're trying to achieve. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that if you're going to put a lot of effort into making sure these surveys are done,
Right.
let's put effort into making sure that they're asking the right questions and that they're telling us how we can do stuff better.
And if you guys took some risks to do it, take come at your day and everything else, you want some feedback that says, hey, I have, you want to get you what I call psychic income. You want to get at least that psychic income back to some of the group.
So in terms of the survey, we have tabulated surveys over the period of last 3 years. So we do have data to go back to and compare what the ROI is this year versus the previous year. So in terms of the number of students who went on the tour, even in terms of individual questions, you can see what the difference in the response was. So it's very, there's good data.
But there's not a market that says, oh, it was good or it was bad, and I don't know if in the kind of survey if we would do that, you know, if we made the mark or not.
Well, I mean, what would say, but you say this good data, so what do you do with it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we
So
do something.
Yeah.
Yes, we distribute to each of the regional coordinators, so something that looks like this is for the very sure if you would put it on the
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what the report would look like for each of the regions. We submitted from whom we got this. Yeah.
So it's a summary of the entire,
But then someone may take that and say, okay, this looks a little weak, what can we do to make that better, right?
And that's kind of where I'm asking the questions about what are the best use of that. I mean, I've heard a few different things, and I'm sorry for being outspoken, but I kind of went through high school knowing I was going to be an engineer, right? So I was one of the lucky people who knew what I was going to do. My most useful work experience was actually things I didn't want to do. Knowing that to do what I want to do, I have to get a grade. Otherwise, I would have been dead, and I don't want to do that in manufacturing. But I was new in manufacturing. But if you have kids who are going to go to do it harder, then trying to show them there's jobs in Florida, they're going to go off to college. I can tell you because I've been there. You're going to go off to college, and by the time you finish college after 4 years, you're going to be taking the best possible job you can, wherever it is, or you're going to go home. There's no need you to drive it there.
It's not that we're targeting a lot of times. Like, we're targeting those kids that are coming out of college or out of high school and they don't know what to do, or they want to do something.
Well then, why are they doing robotics course? I'm being a little bit pushy there, but why are they doing robotics course if they're not even going to go to college? It seems like we're maybe talking about this group of kids, but we're sending these kids to the manufacturing there. That's kind of what I'm getting at there. So maybe there's some questioning here, is like, well, do you intend to go to college? Do you intend to go to an in-state college, an out-of-state college, or community college, like a technical course?
So maybe we look at the survey with the questions.
Well, there's a couple of different kinds of robotics things. I mean, most of the high schools are involved with first robotics and that sort of thing. But what our trade association, we have metal box leads. And so you use that, it's so interested in manufacturing, they work as a team, they build a robot at once, and okay, this got smashed, so how can we make that stronger? We're getting a lot of kids interested, and then
might not be taking it because they're gonna go be an engineer or, a 3D pro or whatever, but, because it's an elective. So just the kid that really likes hands-on, really, cool stuff and wants to put things together and likes the code because they like video games, then they may have a connection to that, but they may not be going on to a 4-year engineering school. But they still might be in that high school class just because we have such big schools and big numbers that you're gonna have some elective classes that are gonna have kids that are gonna have every direction.
Yeah, the opportunity is almost not there to just get the student. Well, the one thing most of them don't know, like you.
One person that we had that came from a manufacturing store. He wanted to be a nurse as well. So they started engineering academy at River Ridge, and he took that as an elective because he needed an elective.
Right.
And then his whole career path has changed because of that. Because of the elective and then comes a bit.
And robotics is cool.
Yeah.
So they all want to do robotics.
I gotta head out, because I got a doctor's appointment, but continue the discussion, you give me any big news.
Yeah.
It'll take me a while, obviously, to, get this, but I'll put it in some organized order. I don't know how useful it is, it'll be organized.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an engineering academy, by definition, and
But teams are robotics.
So, and
But that might not have been the right fit.
well, I think our company is a combination of clarity. We have two groups of people where we have a group of people that if they're in a technical role, they've gone through a degree. And then you have a group of people who they just need a high school diploma. Now, they're in the shop and they've been in the office. Now, what we're doing is we're showing the whole company. But when we show the shop, it's more about how it's designed and what the machines are, and it's really oriented towards the world of manufacturing. I'm not sure how many of our techs are going to say, yeah, this is the career for you. Like, it's not going to be a glamorous career. If you're looking to get people into jobs in the local area who haven't necessarily or haven't got the college degree, and you're trying to make sure that they get a job and it's
That's a career.
that's a career, then I think you've got to be really careful what companies you take, and it sounds like you've got a really good match there, because as you say, you can do an apprenticeship where you can learn. I guess one of the programming the workstation.
We don't do the design. Everything we make is to our customers. So our engineers, the manufacturing engineers, the process, hey, we need this machine, these tools, and most of their knowledge comes from experience, being a machinist, being a programmer, things like that. There's no job in our company that requires college degree.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's something that might should go on the list, though, of all the manufacturers that are participating, some type of synopsis about what their company is and what they're looking for, about what they have to offer, so that when I look at that list, when we're trying to set schools up, then I could say, well, King Robotics might not be the best fit for here, or Armwood Machining might not be the best fit for here. So that would help have a little bit of a synopsis. Otherwise, I actually go to Google and type in this manufacturer and try to scan it and look, and then figure out where I can put.
I would say, I actually think King was good, even though it's because we were able to talk about how, so I think that the kids there had very little experience in coding, and I guess the robotics program is, high school level, right?
But they're trying to build it up. Their teacher retired, and they have a new teacher.
Okay.
Like her second year.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're trying to build that up.
Gotcha. So I think what the sort of stuff we showed them, that it's not necessarily a cool robot or anything, but it is an automated process. We would kind of show them the real world, but we didn't know that until they were literally there in the same.
So that would help on their end. That would help you to know this is the program that's coming to us, and then you can tailor what you say to that.
And even if it's not a manufacturing-based teachers, but teachers to the water, they just have a basic painting head out.
We can get teachers, guidance counselors, parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even, just the walk around, if the students are going to come in October, then earlier in the year, they do a walk around, and we can say, this is what we're planning. And maybe they give feedback, so that's not a good program for these students, maybe, but I see you do that, how can you talk more about that conversation?
You can get the tours for the guidance counselors, the teachers, or we can get the guidance counselors to be the chaperone on the manufacturing tours.
Okay, thank you very much.
For coming, and I think they're going to be sharing out some summary of their thing.